Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you just spending a few minutes of your day here on my channel watching one of my videos. I hope you guys are doing well. So last week, or maybe the week before, by the time this video goes up, I did a video on the worst makeup that I've tried in 2022 so far. If you like those types of videos, I'll link that one in the description box below. Surprisingly, I haven't tried a ton of really bad products, and I feel like brands in general are just releasing more high quality products, especially as the years go by. But there were some that didn't work for me, so I'll link that video below. But today I wanted to focus on really good launches from 2022. I did these mid-year update videos last year, and I just thought it was really interesting once the end of the year rolled around to kind of look back and see what the standout products were in the middle of the year and see if they were still my top favorites. So I wanted to do it again today. Today I'm focusing on the best launches of 2022. So not just the best makeup I've tried this year, but the best products that were actually released this year. It's been interesting because I feel like a lot of the standout products for me in the past have been eyeshadow palettes or eye related. And this year, a lot of brands are focusing on complexion products, lip products. So I have a lot of those to share with you guys. I have a good mix of drugstore and high-end products, and I'm excited to talk about them. What has been your favorite launch of 2022 so far? I feel like there have been so many good products. Has it been like a complexion product, a lip product, a blush? Let me know in the comments below. I really would love to hear from you. I read all of my comments. I try to respond to as many as possible, so let me know. Let me start with this one. This one is the only one that didn't launch in 2022. It came out at like the very end of December, so I wanted to include it in today's video because I think a lot of people didn't even try it until January, myself included. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This has been my go-to primer. I'm almost done with it because I have used it so consistently. Like I said, I got this in January, so for the past 5 months, I've been using this one not quite every single day because I do try out products, I do switch it up, but the majority of the week when I'm wearing makeup. This is a little bit of a thicker primer that has kind of like a tackiness to it, but I find that if you really take a few seconds to work it into the skin, it almost thins it out a little bit. You are still left with that tackiness, which I do like because it just ensures that my foundation stays in place a little bit longer, but you would think if you were to apply foundation on top of a tacky base, that it would go on unevenly, or it would look patchy or just kind of heavy. That's not the case with this one. This one makes your skin look so smooth. It makes your makeup last really well. And I've tried a lot of primers like this because ever since Milk Makeup released their Hydro Grip Primer, I feel like a lot of brands have been trying to dupe it. I feel like there are a lot of great options out there, but this one has been my favorite. Clearly, I've used so much of this. So if you haven't tried this yet, I definitely recommend picking it up. It really is such a great option. So along with that primer, e.l.f. released a powder foundation this year. I was so excited for it because I've really fallen in love with powder foundation over the past 2 years. It's so quick and easy to use, and I feel like it's so ideal for oily skin because not only do you get coverage, you also get the mattifying effects of a powder, typically. I mean, formulas are very different. A lot of the powder foundations that I've tried are high-end powder foundations. They're a little bit more expensive, like Urban Decay, Pure Cosmetics. I think I have a couple more in my collection, but I haven't really found a drugstore version that I've just fallen in love with until this one. Ever since I tried this, I haven't reached for any other powder foundation in my collection because this is the most ideal formula. The coverage is absolutely amazing. It's very customizable though. So it does come with a beauty sponge, which you can use to apply it to the skin. I'll typically use that to touch up my foundation, but I find that if you use a fluffy brush, you can get light coverage. A dense brush, you get more of a medium coverage look. And if you want a full coverage look, you can use a damp beauty sponge. So I really like the Total Face Sponge from e.l.f. and I'll just press it into my skin and it covers everything. It covers redness, it covers breakouts, and it looks so good. A lot of powder foundations look very powdery on the skin, and because of that, they tend to enhance texture and they might not look just as good as you would like them to, as good as a liquid foundation. That's not the case with this one. This one looks so smooth. It gives my skin the most flawless airbrush finish. And even when I'm wearing regular foundation, sometimes I'll take like a big fluffy brush and just blend this all over for like a light sheer coverage, but it just smooths everything over. It's so good. I feel like everything about this formula is amazing. And honestly, if you have dry skin, I think that this is probably going to be more of an ideal powder foundation compared to other ones that I've tried because it is more of like a creamy, smooth formula. The only downside for me personally is that I haven't found like the perfect shade match. I kind of mixed these two together. I have light 205N and light 210N. Sometimes I'll take light 210N on like the outer perimeter of my face for more of like a natural contour, and then I'll take light 205N right in the center, or I'll kind of dip back and forth between the two. I don't mind doing that because I feel like it is a little bit more customizable, but you know, the typical shades that I wear from e.l.f. are usually like, I'm trying to think of the exact shades. I think in the concealer I have like Fair 140W or something like that. So I originally did get that in this powder, but it was super light. So I feel like the line as a whole leans a little bit lighter than some of their other lines. So I feel like that's just something to keep in mind. But I really do think this is the best powder foundation formula I've ever tried. So definitely one of the top launches in my opinion. It's so good. I also wanted to mention this powder from ColourPop. This is the Pretty Fresh Pressed Paste Powder. I just repurchased this, so this one is brand new in the shade Fair 4. I actually think I need to pick up the next shade. Fair 4 was kind of my go-to during the winter and the spring, but I feel like it might be just a little bit too light for me during the summertime. But this formula is so gorgeous on the skin. This is definitely more of a matte finish. Now I know this has gotten some mixed reviews in general. I feel like people either really love it or they hate it. I think if you have oily skin, you're going to like this more, especially if you have like oily, breakout prone textured skin like me. If you have a dry skin or you prefer like a barely there powder like the Kosas powder, or you know, just something super lightweight like a translucent powder, I don't think you'll like this formula because I definitely find this to be more of a matte formula. It also has coverage, which I personally do like because I feel like I can use it on top of a light coverage foundation or like a tinted moisturizer or sunscreen, and it just kind of makes my skin look a little bit more smooth and just kind of pulls everything together. But I think that it looks so good on the skin. Like I said, it's perfect because it keeps my skin matte throughout the day. It adds a little bit of coverage. It just kind of smooths everything out. So typically I'll use this in my T-zone. I feel like that has been so perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll go in with a large fluffy brush and lightly dust it on the rest of my face, like around the perimeter, so it's not too intense around the rest of my face. It's worked really well for me. I know they kind of say you can use this as a powder foundation or a setting powder. I don't really ever use it as a powder foundation. I feel like it's just too matte as a powder foundation because it makes my skin look a little bit dry if I'm using it all over, which might be more ideal during like the middle of the summer on a super hot day, but I've loved using it as a setting powder on days when I do want more of a matte finish and I want a little extra coverage because I think it looks really, really good that way. This is the newest product that I've tried, at least that I'm featuring in today's video, but I've been so impressed by the quality, so I wanted to share it in today's video. I actually don't have any other cheek products to share with you guys. No bronzers, no blushes, because a lot of the bronzer and blush formulas I've been using actually launched last year or in previous years. But this is a pretty new release from Flower Beauty. It's their Spotlight Liquid Highlighter, and I have the shade Opal. I've told you guys this in a couple of videos. I've been wanting to try some products from Charlotte Tilbury, especially her like liquid bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. So when I saw Flower Beauty release this one, I wanted to try it out first to see if I would actually like more of a liquid highlighter, because in the past it really hasn't been my ideal formula. After trying this, I just love it. I think it looks so good on the skin that I'm kind of tempted to try more liquid products. I feel like this past year or the year before this, I kind of got into creams, and now this year I'm kind of curious about liquid products. So you guys will have to let me know if you have any go-to liquid products. Some of you guys told me this is pretty much a spot-on dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury liquid highlighters. So I haven't tried those. I can't say for sure, but if you guys have tried them, you'll have to let me know what you think, because if it is a spot-on dupe, I feel like this is perfect. It's affordable. It's really pretty on the skin. I originally thought it was going to be very difficult to blend out, and it does dry kind of quickly, so you can't apply it and then like walk around and do something else and then come back and blend it out. You do have to blend it out pretty much immediately, but it wasn't difficult to blend out, and it looks really nice on the skin. It doesn't look heavy or cakey. It doesn't really move my foundation around underneath, which a lot of liquid products can tend to do, or they have in the past, which is why I've avoided them. This one just works really well. It looks really, really pretty, and I think the color is stunning as well. So I'm looking forward to using this even more. I wonder if Flower Beauty has liquid blushes. Why did I say that? Flower Beauty has the blush bombs, which I love so, so much, but I think I was thinking just something in very similar packaging to this, because I do feel like it's kind of meant to be a Charlotte Tilbury dupe. So again, please let me know if you have any other liquid blush, highlighter, or bronzer favorites because I feel like that's something I'm just more curious to try this year. So I do have a video going up on my channel sharing the best and worst palettes that I've tried in 2022 so far. It might already be up on my channel. If not, it will probably be within like the next video or two that I upload. But I think I'll share like the majority of the palettes in that video. To be honest with you, I haven't tried a ton of palettes that were launched in 2022 that I would consider to be like true standout palettes. And I mean, that's partly because I haven't purchased as many palettes, partly because I don't know, I feel like brands haven't been as focused on eyeshadow palette launches this year as they have other categories, but there is one that I wanted to share with you. So this is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 Rose Eyeshadow Palette. So I have done 2 different Get Ready With Me's using this on my channel. If you guys want to check them out, I'll link them below just in case you're looking for some inspo on how I like to use the palette. I do have it on my eyes today as well. I went for a little bit more of a smoky look, and I just feel like every time I use this palette, I love how my makeup turns out. It is so easy to use, and I feel like typically I do get a little bit more of a glam look, whether I'm reaching for the lighter half of the palette, the darker half, but I just love all 3 formulas you get in this palette. The shimmers are so gorgeous on the eyes. The matte shadows are really rich and intense, and the cream shadows definitely come in handy. I'll use them as a base for the shimmers. I'll use them on their own if that's what I'm going for, and I just think the value that you get in this palette is totally worth the price. It's a little bit more of an expensive palette, but I have used it so much, and I think that's part of the reason why I haven't purchased a ton of other palettes since getting this one, because whenever I have a little bit more time to do more of a dramatic look, I just reach for this one, and I feel like I've just been having so much fun using this palette that I don't feel the need to buy a ton of other palettes lately. I'm kind of curious to see if there is going to be one that tops this because I've loved it so much. I feel like if there is one, it would probably have to be like a Natasha Denona midi palette, but I don't even know what else she would do because I feel like she's kind of covered all of the different areas with her existing midi palettes, like pastels, cool tones, warm tones, so we'll see. This one's definitely my favorite so far. I also wanted to mention the Patrick Ta Major Volume Plumping Gloss. So I am wearing this one today. It's the shade Superficial. I'm wearing it over a lipstick that I'll share in just a few minutes, but I really like this formula. When I first got it, I enjoyed it, but I didn't know if it was anything super special. I actually ended up ordering a second shade that should be here any day now. I ordered, which one did I go with? I was kind of going back and forth between like the light pink and the light red because they're both sheer colors. I think I went with the red. So I'll definitely keep you posted on how I like that one once I get it, but I just like this formula. It's very, very glossy, super comfortable to wear. Again, it is a sheer formula. It's not too intense at all, but I feel like it just enhances whatever lipstick I'm wearing underneath. The interesting part about this one is that it definitely has a cinnamon scent, which is really different from any other lip product I've tried. Typically they smell like vanilla or mint or like a fruity scent. This one definitely has like a strong cinnamon scent, which at first I didn't really love, but I feel like I've come to enjoy it just because it is a little bit different. They do market this one as a plumping gloss, and I do find that it makes my lips look just a little bit bigger. It definitely has like a slight tingle, but it's not too intense. And I think because it is so glossy and so shiny, it just enhances your lips in a really pretty natural way. So I've enjoyed this one a lot. It is a little bit more of an expensive lip gloss, but I feel like I've worn it a lot. And that to me is always a good indication as to whether or not something was worth the money. If I buy a high-end lip product and I wear it like twice, then it wasn't worth the money to me. But if it's something that I want to apply over and over again, then I feel like it was kind of worth the splurge. And like I said, I did purchase a second shade, which I'm excited about. Another lip product that I just fell in love with is the Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum from Makeup by Mario. So I do have 2 shades. I have this shade Mocha Glow, which I will swatch for you guys in today's video. I just got this one, but I also have the shade Apricot Glow, which I cannot find. I love it so much that I am constantly wearing it. And the last time I wore it, I think I put it in the front pocket of my baby's diaper bag, and I went to grab it today and it's not there. So honestly, I don't know where it is. I'm assuming it's in a pocket. I don't carry a purse anymore, but I feel like when I'm running out the door and I'm grabbing like the baby's diaper bag and the random things I forgot in my wallet and my keys, that I just feel like a purse is another thing to grab. But I do feel like it would be nice to have because I'll throw things in the diaper bag or in the wallet, or I'll just carry them and then I can't find them, which happens with a lot of my go-to lip products. They always turn up, so I'm sure it's somewhere. That shade is so perfect for summer. It's really been like my everyday go-to lip color because it adds just the right amount of color to the lips without being too intense. It's like a beautiful warm nude. So I just got the shade Mocha Glow, which is really different. This one is a little bit cooler, a little bit deeper, but I was kind of going back and forth between the two shades. I wasn't sure which one to go with, and I loved the formula so much that I wanted to grab another one, and honestly, I feel like I'll eventually try more of them because I just cannot get enough of this. It's so comfortable. It's really glossy, but it also has like the lipstick aspect. So you get a little bit of color, they stay in place really well, especially for more of a glossy formula. And again, these kind of have like that plumping quality to them, so they just make your lips look really good, really smooth. They're a little bit tingly without being too intense, and I just love them so, so much. They are very similar to the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, but I like these a little bit better, and I don't know why. Like, I can't pinpoint in my mind the differences between the two that make these a little bit more appealing to me. I think it's just because the shade that I have, or the shade that I had previously that I was wearing all the time, Apricot Glow, is different than the shades that I have in the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. Those tend to lean like very pink toned, and the Apricot Glow is kind of like just like a good everyday nude shade for me. So that might be why I reach for it a little bit more, but I do feel like the formulas are kind of similar. Anyway, I have a few more products to talk about in today's video. These are the ColourPop Glowing Lips. So I'm actually wearing one today. This one is in the shade Indulge Me. And then on top, I have the Patrick Ta Lip Gloss. They feel like a traditional lipstick. Like, you get really good color payoff, but they're very glossy, really moisturizing, and just so comfortable to wear. They're not sheer lipsticks, but I wouldn't say they have the same color payoff as like a true lipstick formula. They're so creamy, really, really smooth, which is why I do think they feel pretty similar to the Makeup by Mario lipsticks, but they're not quite as glossy. I feel like you do get a lot of shine, especially for more of a lipstick formula, and they just look nice on the lips. Again, this is kind of a staple formula in my collection when I want a little bit of color, but I don't want like a true lipstick. I rarely reach for like a true bullet lipstick these days because I feel like I always want something a little bit glossier, a little more moisturizing, and these are really nice if that's what you're looking for too. So I'll swatch a couple of my favorite shades for you. They're just pretty. They're kind of like melted lipsticks in a good way. Let me finish up with 3 concealers. I've tried so many concealers this year already, and I've definitely found a few formulas that I love. So I have 3 to share with you guys. They're all very, very different, but I love them all equally. So let me share them in the order that I tried them. The first one is the KVD Good Apple Concealer. Honestly, I didn't have super high hopes for this because the KVD Good Apple Foundation just didn't work well for me. The coverage was really nice. It looked good initially, but it just didn't last on my skin. And I find that, you know, similar to the foundation, the coverage of this concealer is really good. Again, it looks really good on the skin, but it lasts throughout the day. And I think that is the key difference. Although the foundation definitely had more of like a true cream texture, and this is more of a serum-like consistency. It's very, very thin, really blendable, and a little bit goes a really long way. But as you blend it out, you don't lose the texture. And again, it looks good all day long. Once you set it into place, it does not move, but it doesn't feel super heavy like other full coverage concealers. So I really enjoy this one on days when I just want my concealer to last all day long. I don't want it to move. I want really flawless coverage. This one is absolutely perfect. If you're looking for more of a natural looking concealer that has a light to medium coverage finish, I would definitely recommend this one, the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. They do market it as a full coverage concealer, but I would not consider it to be full coverage, especially compared to the KVD one. The reason why I like the LYS one is because it does look more natural on the skin. I would say in general, I do get more of a medium coverage finish, but you could sheer it out to look lighter or use less product. Again, it's a very smooth, lightweight, blendable formula. If you have dry skin, I think you'll enjoy this one because I do find it to be more hydrating, and it's not quite as long lasting as the KVD concealer, but I don't find that this one really settles into fine lines like a lot of other concealers do, especially if they're more of a light coverage, lightweight formula like this one. I like wearing this one when I am wearing a full coverage foundation because I feel like layering a full coverage concealer on top of a full coverage foundation can be a lot, but I also like wearing this one on days where I'm wearing really light makeup because it's not going to add a ton of coverage to the center of my face, under my eyes, or where I spot conceal. So I've been really impressed by this one. I think it's such a nice option for everyday wear. Now, the last one I want to share with you guys is like a true hydrating concealer. The LYS one definitely has like a nice hydrating factor to it, but if you want a really glowy, super hydrating concealer, then definitely try this one from Saie. It is the Hydrabeam. So I have the shade 3, and I like this one because it truly makes your skin look glowy in such a pretty way. When I use this under the eyes, it gives my skin this luminosity that I just don't get from other concealers. It's very, very creamy. It's not quite as thin or serum-like as the other two that I mentioned, but again, it does blend out really nicely. A little bit goes a long way. This one has more of a light to medium coverage finish. I feel like typically I do get light coverage out of it, but it looks so glowy, so pretty on the skin that I feel like I don't need a lot of concealer, because with this product, it conceals lightly, but because it's so reflective, again, in a natural way, it's not like you're applying a liquid highlighter under the eyes. It illuminates your skin in such a pretty way. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It really is a nice product. It's nice on its own. I have worn it on its own a few times. The shade's a little bit dark for me, but I feel like I can kind of make it work, especially if I have like a little bit of a self tan or I'm not using a ton of this product. But I also love using it with other concealers just to balance them out, especially the KVD one, because it just adds like the perfect glow to the under eyes that I feel like a lot of concealers are missing. Sometimes they can make your under eye look dry or dull, and this one just makes everything look awake and bright, and it really is a gorgeous formula. So that's everything I wanted to share with you guys. Those are all of the best makeup launches that I've tried so far in 2022. I will definitely be back in 6 months to share a wrap-up video for the end of the year, which is so crazy. I feel like that will be here before we know it, but I feel like brands have been doing such a good job this year, especially in like the lip product category and the complexion category. So we'll see what else we have in store for 2022. I would love to know which products you guys have been loving, so please let me know. And if you want to hear about the worst products I tried this year, I'll put the video on the screen for you guys right now so you can check it out. But I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.